Yeah, Senator, in addition to fixing the budget process, I know you guys are focused also on trying to fix the nomination process.
Yeah.
I believe I heard over the weekend President Trump in his second term is the only president going back at least 40 years or so that's not had one single nominee approved on a voice vote. Where are you guys right now in amending the rules? And do you worry that if you do so, that might bite you later should there be a Democrat president?
No, we need to change the rules in a way that it works neutral for every president. When the president of the United States is elected, they have a right to be able to get their own staff in place. Right now, Democrats are trying to say President Trump was duly elected. We'll acknowledge that, but he can't have any staff. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. So no president has ever faced the pushback that this president has faced on trying to be able to get confirmations done. Typically, if you go back 20 years ago, 98% of the people were done by voice vote. That means it took seconds. They went through committee, they were approved by committee, came to the floor, there was an acknowledgement, okay, the president wants to get his own staff, can get his own staff, they've been approved by committee, let him go. This president, as you mentioned, 0%, zero, no. Every single one of them has required a filibuster cloture vote and 2 hours of debate, which no one actually comes to the floor for, and then a second vote on that. That is unprecedented. We cannot get all of his people through because it takes hours and hours and hours to do that, and we have 1,200 people to be able to get through. So yes, we're gonna push a rule change through that works for every party, no matter who they are, and to say the president has the right to get their people through. Go through committee, get approved by committee, then get a faster process to be able to get to the floor.
And we're not talking about cabinet secretaries here. We're talking about the undersecretary to the deputy secretary of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. We're talking about people like the legislative affairs person. We're talking about the undersecretaries. We're talking about they blocked the State Department protocol officer. Okay, please. This is not an issue where people know exactly what this person even does, other than the people that work around them that know their job is very important. But the American people are not tracking the protocol officer for State Department. Come on. Once they're approved by committee, they should be able to work their way through quickly.
Yeah, Senator, while I have you here, I do want to get your reaction to the crime crisis in cities like Chicago. We've seen how President Trump has cleaned up D.C., saying he has an obligation now to step in and stop the murders, the robberies, the attacks. Like we saw in D.C., even if local leaders, Mayor Johnson, Governor Pritzker, they're refusing to work with him. They've said absolutely not. This seems to be not even an 80-20 issue in fighting crime. It seems to be a 90-10 issue. So why are so many Democrats in these blue cities so against any help to fight this crime?
This is the ultimate in Trump derangement syndrome, where there's high crime in your city and the president of the United States offers help, and it's like, no, we don't want your help. We don't want National Guard coming in. We don't want individuals to try to make our city more secure. When Chicago has one of the highest violent crime rates in the country and does year after year after year, they should be asking for help, not pushing help away. This should be pretty straightforward on it. You can look at Jeff Landry from Louisiana saying Louisiana is a great state, has fantastic people, but they have some crime issues in New Orleans. And they're literally saying, hey, if the president wants to come help us, we're glad to be able to have the help in New Orleans to make sure that we can have safe streets and a safe community on that. But Chicago's doing just the opposite in saying we don't want help from him on it. Please, come on. All the people in Chicago just want to live in safety.
Yep. Hey, real quickly, got 15 seconds here. I got to get to this, though. You had quite the back and forth with Governor Newsom of California, who tried to make an issue of Oklahoma crime, but you came back with the facts that actually painted a different picture. Obviously, it's always good when you guys go back and forth like that.
Well, Gavin Newsom tried to be able to push back and say that this senator doesn't know the crime rate in his own state. And I just laughed. I was like, okay, well, let's look at the crime rate in California on it. His robbery rate is 4 times higher. His violent crime rate's much higher on that. Plus, the price of gasoline in California is crazy. I actually asked him, hey, is the robbery rate so high in California because your gasoline is twice as high as it is in Oklahoma? So I would tell you Oklahomans don't want to be California. There's a reason people are leaving California. And it's not because of Gavin Newsom's great policies. They're leaving because they don't want to get away from high prices and high crime.
Say no to Californication. All right. Senator James Lankford, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.